R. Sreesankar joins us, Head of Institutional Equities with Prabhudas Lilladher. And Sreesankar, why a beaten down sector like real estate is making a comeback? It has made a comeback not only today, but this year real estate index has emerged as a half-flying index.
Very difficult to explain that. In fact, a lot of these stocks are on the rise, and I don't think that the continued sustainable rise can be justified unless you see a significant changes which is happening into the profitability of many of these companies. My own thought process in investors are now today groping for ideas as the market is touching is at a new high, and you may see some of these beaten down sectors correcting itself.
The financials are very active this afternoon, Shri. Among others, all of the mid-tier financing companies, whether it's Repco Home Finance, Sundaram Finance, M&M Financial, which by the way has been in a zone of its own, Shriram Transport Finance. Is there renewed interest given what's happened in UP and what that would mean for just demand coming in various states?
See, just because what has happened in a UP election in one day, nothing is going to change. But what has really happened and what will happen is that the market price earning multiples will expand, and that's what we have seen as the market has touched a new high. Now, with political mandate becoming more clearer, I think the increased confidence that the people have in the market will actually result in not the earnings going up immediately, but the prices moving up, thereby a PE expansion which takes place. So my view is that you will actually see the market running ahead of earnings, and that's what we are seeing right now. So earlier our thought process was market would have traded in a range between 8100 to 8900, but now we think that market trading range will change from that level to between 8500 to around 9300 levels. I still do not see immediately the market breaking that zone and going off about 93, 9400 immediatbe. Now, the only one part which again one needs to be a bit careful about is ever since we saw be the period of demonetization, etc. The last 3 months of the last calendar year, you've seen the FII selling continuing to remaining strong, and in January too. February that turned a bit. Now, if there is an increased interest coming into emerging markets, you look at some of the beaten down indices, beaten down markets earlier, be it in terms of Russia, be it in terms of Brazil, etc. Over the last 24 months, some of the stronger recoveries in the last 12 months have come from these markets. So you probably will end up seeing a sharper recovery in some of these emerging markets itself, if the emerging markets itself tends to be or comes back into that EMs become more active kind of scenario. So if that's the case, then my thought process is you will further see an expansion in the price earning multiples. I think it's not going to be the earnings right now, it's going to be the flows which is going to determine which way the market goes.
Okay. If I look at the outperforming stocks this year on the Nifty, Idea Cellular is right up there, and 52% is what Idea Cellular has gained this year. You may look back and say, okay, a beaten down stock and buzz of merger is moving up, but it's a special situation stock. DLF again a prominent mover, special situation stock. Yes Bank, special situation stock, because they've been trying to raise QIP, that QIP is not going through, and 1527 for Yes Bank. The other big gainer on the index this year is Grasim, again a special situation stock. So my limited point here is that a lot of large cap stocks which have triggers or which are in a sweet spot because of M&A or because of some corporate activity, that's where I think bulk of outperformance is coming. Sreesankar, for the moment markets believe that the Idea and Vodafone deal is coming. When we call the management, the company, of course we've got no indication on the timeline, but yes, they're admitting that a deal is in the works. So if there is consolidation which is likely to happen in the telecom sector, is one better off buying an incumbent player like Bharti, or one should bet on a player like Idea which will get completely re-rated?
See, the question is whether one should buy into Bharti, one should buy into Idea, or even for that matter, whether one should look into Reliance Jio. The fact is there is going to be an increased competition. Now, that you are making a call for the next 3 years, 5 years that, okay, who's going to be the bigger hit, who's going to take a bigger hit in terms of the increased competition, dropping of prices, between the competition between Jio versus Idea stroke Vodafone versus and Airtel. So you're obviously going to see some people getting hurt. When I say getting hurt in terms of profitability, there is going to be an impact. Now, someone is making a call that you're going to see yes, probably this condition may not continue for quite long and it may change. Our thought process is, if this condition continue to remain as a serious level of competition, profitability may not increase. So if that's the case, whether one should be invested in right now in telecom space itself, and that's a big call. So my thought process again is, somebody is making a call that as a result of this consolidation, now Vodafone and Idea become one. At that point of time, you in the Indian market, so that then it is left with three players is Bharti, Vodafone was an Idea, and the other one now going to be Jio. So if you are going to see in this, these are going to be the major players. Others are not going to be any interesting party out there at all. And you probably will see the pricing coming back over a period of time. And how much time it is going to take, one really doesn't know. So that's a call that somebody has to make. So right now, for our case, hey, we don't cover telecom as a sector. But my call in that particular sector is, as an individual, I still believe that the serious competition that we are seeing will result in most of these companies not making much money over the next 12 months plus.
Yeah, okay. And which is why perhaps you will have these sporadic rallies, but not a structural move in the stocks, just as yet at least.
Sreesankar, are you there? You want to comment on IT?
Yeah, I'm there. Oh, yeah, see, we had, our analyst has put out a note recently on the IT sector. And our view has been that one of the problems that Indian IT stocks have had is, you look at the comparison, you look at with Capgemini, Accenture, etc., how they have performed in the IT space, or in terms of a total returns over the last few years versus the Indian companies. And these companies have given a better return. So FIIs would have been better off investing into these global majors rather than the Indian companies in terms of a return. And one of the main reasons for the big returns that many of these companies have had is they have used their capital in much more better manner. They have gone for acquisitions into the digital space and into analytical space, etc., where they have had much better value, margin increase, and also used it for buyback, etc. So the return ratios have improved. Whereas in the Indian IT companies case, we have not seen a lot of acquisitions which have added any value creation, etc. for these companies. And most of them have kept on employing back the cash. So two things need to happen. One, as allocation of capital need to be much more better. In terms of, if you're doing buyback, if you're doing acquisitions which will be value accretive for you, be in terms of a margin, be it in terms of ROE, etc., then that's when you are going to see a better improvement in terms of a rating for a lot of these IT companies. Otherwise, for the reasons that you mentioned, there are challenges in the growth prospects. And you also mentioned one more interesting point is, if you actually look at most of these companies, I don't think gives you every quarter their offshore revenue per hour, and that has been dropping. So you face challenges, and if you have got challenges in terms of even currency, the tailwind becomes a headwind, as you mentioned, then it is going to be even a bigger challenge. So while challenges are there, there is opportunities, and a lot, in our view, will depend upon how capital allocation is used more judiciously going forward.
Okay, Sri, we let you go at that. Thanks very much for taking out the time to speak with us this afternoon and share with us your perspective on the markets and broadly on different sectors.